Vulnerability fosters good emotions and mental health. Vulnerability also is a sign of courage. We become more resilient and brave when we embrace who we truly are and what we are feeling. The Vulnerable Scientist podcast is a space for scientists who are honest and authentic or are working towards it. Join the vulnerable space by either sending an audio using the link on the show notes talking about your highs and lows as a scientist, or by contacting Sarah Nyakeri, aka New Biochemist, to schedule a chat. The Vulnerable Scientist podcast benefits both the listener and the one sharing. You can now rate this podcast on Spotify or put a review on Apple Podcasts or any other listening platform with a rating button. And to share your thoughts, feel free to send an audio message using the audio link, either using your name or anonymously, to be published on the following episodes of the Vulnerable Scientist podcasts. Are you wondering what I use to upload and store my website spaces? Host Pinnacle. I've been using it for over 2 years right now and it has never disappointed me. So host your website today using Host Pinnacle, cheap and affordable and reliable services. To start experiencing Host Pinnacle goodness, click on the link on the show notes and you will not regret your decision.
Okay, so my name is Joseph Malinzi. I was born and raised in Kampala. That's the capital of Uganda. I am the last born of 6 siblings. I got 1 sister and 4 brothers. I am a Christian. I'm a Catholic. So I attended 2 primary schools. One is called Rwanda Primary School. Both are still existent. One is called Rwanda Primary School, where I attended my grade 1 to grade 3. And then I went to Kiswa Primary School. It's in Kampala, where I did my grade 4 to grade 7. That's where I sat my primary living examinations. And then I went to College Wairaka. It's a school in Jinja, where I did my O-level and where I sat for my Uganda Certificate of Education exams. My favorite subjects there were mathematics, English, physics, history, accounts, and French. And then from there, I went to Namiryango College. It's a single-sex school, very prominent school. And I was offered physics, economics, and mathematics. I performed well and I earned a government bursary to pursue a Bachelor of Science with Education degree at Makerere University. And so at Makerere University, from there, after my degree, I went to the African Institute for Mathematical Sciences in South Africa, where I did a postgraduate diploma in mathematical sciences. And after that, I did my MSc and PhD at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. to be quite honest, I don't have a particular event that I remember that got me interested in sciences, but rather I can recall certain episodes that sort of set off my interest in sciences. And these episodes or events include the hype by the government of Uganda for students to pursue sciences. And then the immediate siblings that I follow, the immediate brothers that I follow, one is a chemistry teacher and the other is an industrial chemist. And then the other thing is that my mom used to teach me mathematics from home. I didn't go to kindergarten. So all these episodes somehow had an influence on me. They had an impact on me to pursue science subjects. Luckily, I was good at both subjects, and interestingly, probably I performed, possibly at O level, I performed well in art subjects as well. I was at liberty to choose either sciences or art subjects, but maybe those events that I've mentioned probably played a big role. My main interest in mathematics was really set out at university, where we offered courses that involved the use of mathematics in solving real life problems. So for me, somehow I was fascinated by how one could use mathematical tools to actually tackle problems in real life. So my first job actually was a teaching one. I was in my senior 6 vacation. I remember one of my old boys from Namiliango College, his mother had a school. So he contacted me and said, hey, they needed a mathematics teacher. And that's how I ended up with what I consider my really very first job. The subsequent jobs were still high school teaching jobs. And with these, still the owners or the head teachers of the schools would contact me. So I think what usually these guys would do, they would come to campus and look at our grades. So because by then they would pin our grades on notice boards. So they would go head hunting for guys that were doing well. And yeah, that's how I ended up teaching in those high schools. I taught in 2 more high schools. Then what I would consider my professional job was the one that I had at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. So as I did my PhD, I was employed as a senior tutor. And of course, yes, I did apply. So I saw an advert. There was an advertisement that went around. I applied and I was lucky that I was considered. So that was my my other job. And then the other one was a teaching assistant job, or rather an assistant lecturer one at the University of Pretoria. So still when I was doing my postdoctoral fellowship, I was employed as an assistant lecturer. I think we didn't have interviews then, because when one was a postdoctoral fellow, possibly they automatically qualified to be teaching assistants or assistant lecturers. The current job that I have now, a colleague of mine in the department sent me the advert while I was still at UP. Again, I applied and I was considered. Yeah, I think it's really important to have mentors in your life, not just one mentor. So to answer the question, I do have several mentors, not just one. As a matter of fact, possibly some of them don't know that I look up to them. So I've had several mentors, or I would say people that I admire, people who inspire me. And these include my dad. These include the supervisors, my supervisors at master's, PhD, and postdoc levels. They include several people, certain prominent figures, and some lecturers, some of my lecturers. So yes, I do have mentors. But of course, there is no single person with the tag mentor or just one single person that I run to for advice. No, there's been a number of people who have really had an impact on my career and on my life, yes. I am in academia, so one thing that's required in academia is publishing research. So the laws that have really been eminent are rejections, article rejections, several of them. And so every time your work is rejected, you really feel bad. So yeah, that's one thing they should expect. And then a bit of work politics. I've realized that everywhere you go, you'll encounter some little bit of work politics here and there. Or you'll encounter people that just don't like you or that just don't feel you. And so sometimes it feels uncomfortable, or so it feels bad. It can make you feel really, really bad. So, but again, I would say that such events would again make you become stronger, including the article rejections that I just mentioned. The highs, of course, graduating with my PhD, the different bursaries and sponsorships that I've got. I must say that I've learned from the several challenges that I've faced. Every challenge that has come has really taught me something, and it's made me stronger. That's what I can say. There are several opportunities in sciences. There are several opportunities. I mean, I can't mention them all. I mean, for example, currently the in-thing is data sciences and artificial intelligence. So currently, I mean, I think there are several jobs. Every day I do get alerts for jobs in data sciences all over the world, including here in Africa. So, I mean, what I would advise a student out there or anyone hoping or planning to pursue a career in sciences is that they should do something they have passion for or something they really want to do. The opportunities obviously do exist in all fields. Career guidance is really imperative. It's really important. So for myself, I did not have proper career guidance. Although, yes, in schools, we used to have events, career days, where we would have people coming from different companies and talking about their professions and the kind of stuff that they do. But still, I think that's still not enough. I believe that parents and guardians and elder siblings should always try to, to advise the young ones on career, okay? And I believe that even the curriculum of schools should actually involve proper career guidance, such that when a student decides to take up a course or a program rather at university, they should know what they are going to do in the future. So for me, it's not like I didn't know that by doing BSc with education, I wasn't going to be a teacher. But the truth is, I just went with the flow. I was given a government sponsorship, so my parents were happy. Okay, I don't have to pay school fees or tuition at varsity. But then after the degree, I didn't even know what to do. In fact, I stayed I stayed in the hostel where I was staying for some time, some really good time, because I much as I was teaching in some private schools, at that point, I wasn't really passionate about teaching. It's not necessarily what I wanted to do. I actually wanted to be an economist. I loved economics much as I loved mathematics. So I only fell in love with the stuff that I'm doing at AIMS South Africa. They do have, it's an institute that has a really unique curriculum that's student-centered and involving several, rather centered around problem solving, okay? And so students study several things ranging from maths, computer science, physics, engineering, statistics, and so on and so forth. So, it's at that institute that I really now started falling in love with academia, okay, with doing research, with teaching at higher institute. So that for me it was the love for the stuff that I do came in late. My advice for the young ones would be that they shouldn't just do things. One ought to know that, okay, I'm studying this course because it can help me do ABC, or because it will equip me with these kind of skills, rather than just doing things and passing and then graduating, and then you don't even know what skills you do have. And of course, I would advise one to choose a program that would equip them with skills that are not that are scarce in a way. Okay, scarce, but at the same time for which they have passion. Yeah. Well, research is my life. Research is currently my life. It's what I do. So my research is primarily concerned with mathematical disease modeling. I construct and analyze mathematical models, okay, to solve problems arising in nature. I deal with mathematical models that are in the form of ordinary and partial differential equations. At master's level, I investigated the interaction dynamics between tumor cells and immune cells to explain a phenomenon called cancer dormancy. And of course, the rationale is that in understanding the dynamics of the tumor cells and immune cells, then you maybe explain to clinicians you would help solve problems for clinicians, problems to do with how best to hinder the multiplication of cancer cells. Then at PhD level, again, I carried on with work that I had done at master's level, coupled with the investigation of the dynamics of chemovirotherapy cancer treatment. Again, here we were looking for factors that most determine the outcome of the combination of chemotherapy and virotherapy cancer treatments. So some of the results that I would consider to be important from my previous studies And by the way, I think I shouldn't call it my research, because most of the stuff that I've done it with the guidance of my supervisors. Some of the stuff, it's my students who have helped me. So perhaps and some of the research, I've done it together with certain collaborators. So I would rather say that it's our research. So some of the results that I would consider to be important from my previous studies, they include describing the dynamics of immune cells and tumor cells to explain cancer dormancy, like I just explained. And of course, like I said, this could contribute to the development of better anti-cancer drugs. Okay. Second thing is that we investigated the dynamics of chemovirotherapy in order to determine how effective the combination of the combination treatment is in comparison to either treatment. So chemovirotherapy is a combination of chemotherapy and virotherapy virotherapy treatment. It's a combination of chemotherapy and oncolytic virotherapy. We suggested optimal treatment protocols for the treatment of chemovirotherapy. We've identified pertinent factors that influence the outcome of oncolytic virotherapy treatment and its combination with chemo. We've investigated the effect, or rather I've investigated the effect of the tumor microenvironment on the outcome of oncolytic virotherapy. And lastly, describing the spatiotemporal dynamics of tumor cells, immune cells, and oncolytic viruses. Now, I should probably note that most clinical experiments cost a lot of money, millions of dollars. But with mathematical modeling, or the stuff that we do, you could still answer the problems that those experiments seek to characterize or solve with only a pen, paper, and a computer. So several mathematical modeling studies have actually saved lots of monies. Now, I would say that our research could be useful to people in the same field in which I am, that's biomathematics. Our research could be useful to clinicians, bioscientists, and several other applied mathematicians. Well, so of course, if you don't specialize in something, then you become a master of none. Okay. So I think by people specializing in different fields, it gives them the ability to spend ample time and to do quality research. And then the issue of publishing research, I think it's important because then this research would go through peer review to ascertain that it's important or what you've done is true. So it's like to sort of double check the stuff that you've done, whether the stuff that you've done is correct and whether it's indeed novel or important in society. So yeah, specialization ensures that we do quality stuff, and publishing, I guess, also does the same thing. And also so because there is lots of information out there, for example, okay, but you would want to only consider, for research purposes, you would want to consider stuff that's been published. Opportunities in, say, biomathematics are only beginning to perhaps to plummet in Africa. It's only now that they're beginning to plummet. The advice, again, like I said, one should choose something that they have passion for. or they have interest in. One shouldn't see me talking about the application of maths to solve problems arising in nature, and then they say, oh, I want to do that kind of stuff. They could get into it and then get bored because they don't really feel it, okay? But if one is doing something that's not forced onto them, then they'll definitely enjoy. So my advice is follow your passion, follow your dream. Yeah. I hope the things that I've said could maybe inspire someone out there. And of course, I would want to emphasize to the young scholars that they should be patient, they should work hard, they should take responsibility, they should respect their mentors, their elders, and they should one should always ensure quality in anything that they do. Yeah. Thank you very much. I have so many research ambitions. I have so many life ambitions. 5 years. I hope and pray to God that I would be at a different level in terms of, so currently I'm a lecturer. So I would want to grow in my profession, maybe by then be an associate professor or a professor. So yeah, but as for the research prospects, I have so many research ambitions. Actually spanning even other fields like data sciences, economics. So I'm trying to write some proposals that involve things to do with big data and economics and artificial intelligence. So 5 years from now, I hope and pray to God that I would be at a different level professionally, and that I would have continued to do my work diligently, to inspire the young ones, to encourage them, and to do quality research. Yes, like you asked me, the importance of specialization. This is the stuff that I do understand. Using maths to solve problems in oncology, or rather problems to do with disease modeling. So, but again, for purposes of venturing into the industry, well, not purposes, for reasons, the fact that I also have ambitions of venturing into industry, doing industrial work, that's work outside academia, okay? It's imperative that the work I do should incorporate, or rather should involve model calibration or incorporate data. And also because I had passion for economics, I've ventured into operational research kind of stuff. So yes, I would like to continue doing the stuff that I've been doing, but I would also like to sort of tap into other things that would have my other foot in industry, if possible. I mean, by God's grace.
Do you want to start your own podcast? Start with some simple gear that you already have and a quiet space. Simple gear includes a microphone, editing software, and host of your podcast. Simple microphones include the ones on your phones and computers, or a simple recorder, which you can upgrade later. For the editing software, I use Audacity, which is free and simple to use. Buzzsprout, which over 1,000 other fellow podcasters like me use, is one of the podcast hosting providers you can use. Buzzsprout has helped me link my show on every major podcast platform. With the endless number and regularly updated tutorials and good customer service support Buzzsprout offers, my podcasting journey has been made easy. Following the link in the show notes, let Buzzsprout know we sent you. Gets you a $20 Amazon gift card if you sign up for a paid plan, and helps support our show.